Hi, my name is Abir Sinder. I'm a YouTuber from Saudi Arabia.
Uba Ali, and I am from Somaliland, and I'm also an activist.
My name is Aziza Sbeiti. I'm based in Lebanon, and I am the national 100-meter champion.
The racially charged death of African-American George Floyd on May 25, which was horrifically caught on camera, sparked a protest movement that spread not only across the US, but other parts of the world. It also triggered important, much needed, and uncomfortable discussions surrounding race and discrimination across all sectors of society. And I guess it is in that spirit we wanted to have this conversation here, and I guess bring it to what's happening here, in the Arab world, and in the region. So in that spirit, I would like to thank you all for joining us. Are we a little bit slow in the region to discuss what's happening?
Racism is kind of in our language, I already mentioned this a couple of times, like the word abid, the way it's used in the Arab world. I don't know if it's just in Lebanon or all over. This word means a slave. Yeah, right? And it's like, it basically means a Black person in most of the Arab world. So it's already in our lingo.
I got a comment, by the way, on my Instagram telling me, when I wrote the story about the first time someone called me Abda when I was 6 years old and I didn't know what it means. I was playing in a playground with other children, and it was a girl my age. She was also probably 6 or 7. She pushed me and she said, "Ab'adi min wajhi ya Abda." And I was like, "What?" I didn't even know what the word means. So I went what it meant. So I went to my mother and I was crying because she pushed me. And like she hurt me, and I went to her and I was like, "This girl called me Abda. What does that mean?" So like long story short, my mom went there and like an argument happened, and the mother apologized. But how did the 6-year-old know to call a Black person Abda? How did she know that? It was her upbringing. She heard it from her parents or her family. It's the way she was raised. So I told the story on my Instagram, and then I got a comment saying, "But I call every Black person Abda. I didn't know it was a bad word."
I came to Lebanon in 2017 to continue my college education at AUB. And I remember the first day I came and I took the Ethiopian Airlines. And then like the whole plane was full of, Ethiopian like young women. And I was so excited because I thought all of them were coming to education or to do something. So I was really happy, and we're trying to talk to each other, but we couldn't understand each other. So I was a bit excited, oh my God, all of these girls, are going to study, they're so lucky, in my mind. So when we came to the airport, one of the staff members told us to have our own line. Why? Like they were like, to have our own line, like all of the, girls who look like, myself were like standing in their own line. And I didn't know all of them were domestic workers because I had no idea, this system existed in the Middle East. I didn't even know anything about the domestic workers. So we have been standing there for like 2 hours. Nobody came. While the other people who were not domestic workers, who didn't look like us, were just passing by us. So we were shocked. And at the end, like, they came and they were like, you have to wait for your boss, or like you have to wait your own turn. And I was like, I'm going to AUB. And they were like, oh, you're going to AUB. And they treat me in a different way. When I told them that, I was with my friend who was also coming with me. So I was shocked. I was lost. And then we just, left the girls while they were on their own line, waiting someone to come and help them.
How have you reacted to what's going on so far?
Well, first of all, I'm Lebanese Liberian, and my mom actually lives in the US, and I have siblings there as well. So, but I'm based in Lebanon and I live here with my dad. So the thing is, like, I had like really mixed feelings because, of course, my heart is with my family in the US, and I was like really, really sad and distraught about everything that's been going on, because it has been going on for centuries now almost. But at the same time, I was kind of a little bit angry with Lebanon's, I don't want to say uprising when it comes to this specific situation, but there was a whole lot of support. I mean, that's amazing. That's beautiful to see. But when you look at the truth on the ground in Lebanon, it's kind of different because there is racism in Lebanon. I'm not saying all Lebanese people are racist, because that would definitely be not true, but there is racism in Lebanon when it comes to people of color in particular, because the way they are looked at, or we are looked at, is kind of different socioculturally.
I'm going to talk about myself and people that I know who are Black. We all experienced it. Microaggressions or like full-blown racist comments, but it happens in our world, and I think people have to address it and admit that it's happening and try their best to be better.
I have been talking about the issue of domestic workers and the discriminations that they face every single day. So seeing that there is a worldwide movement actually, encouraged me to speak about this topic, because as Aziza said, Lebanon, there's a systematic racism, and sometimes people, they don't even acknowledge that there is, a racism in Lebanon. So when you see the domestic workers and the way they live in Lebanon, it's like they live in a different world. And I always talk about, why do you guys, treat this woman in this way? They deserve to live with dignity. They should have, the basic human life or human rights that they have deserved. And still, people have been ignoring this for so long. So, this movement actually, encouraged me, to fight for the rights of these migrant workers, especially now because Lebanon is facing economic crisis, and a lot of migrant domestic workers are being thrown away on the streets and they don't have nowhere to go. So I think this issue needs, to be highlighted, and Lebanese community need to acknowledge that domestic workers deserve to live with dignity. That's the most important thing. And they have to, educate themselves about, what these women deserve.
How has your experience been, upon entering, the fashion industry, first in Saudi Arabia and the greater region?
Well, first of all, the reason why I started my Instagram, I never thought that it was going to get this big. I never thought I was going to be famous or whatever in Saudi. The reason that I started it is because for me, I was looking so hard for representation for Black Arabs. I was trying to find a makeup tutorial for my complexion. I'm very dark skinned, and what someone else's makeup will look like will not look exactly like mine because my skin is dark. So I was for example, trying to look for makeup tutorials, trying to look for wigs tutorials or whatever from someone who speaks my language and looks like me, and I did not see that. I did not find it at all. So the reason why I started my Instagram and my YouTube and all that is because I was okay, I can't find Black representation. I'm going to be the Black representation.
For me, I'm not trying to push every female or every woman to go and go to the gym and do that. That's the health perspective. But I'm just trying to do what I do best, and thankfully I'm kind of inspiring others to do the same. A lot of girls go oh, so I can be at a certain age and continue doing sports. And of course, whatever you want to do, you can do. Whatever you want to be, you can be, as long as you love it and you're putting your heart out there and doing it, then you could do it. And then there's the added value, not necessarily an added value, but again, since we're talking about the issue of color, we're trying to show that the diversity of what everyone could do.
Race is an important, topic to be discussed in the Arab world. But if they keep ignoring the fact that there is, a systematic racism in the Middle East, still we will be stuck in that framework that still Black people or people of color are viewed less because of the color of their skin.
Uba Ali, Aziza Zubayti, and Abir Sinder, I would like to thank you all for sharing your experiences with us. While we may have to leave it here, there's no doubt that these important conversations need to carry on across the region and beyond.